Sign into chat. Open in web browser. Bam. Bam. There we go. Now we are live. Now we're doing the live streams. We're doing the stuffs. We're doing the stuffs and the things. All the stuffs and all the things. I have fiberglass up my sleeve. I just realized that. What is going on, you guys? What's going on, Alec? Butterfly. We're just gonna go death on that one. Yo, what's up, Christian? Down for something. Trick on sliding on radiator hose. Should just push it on. Just sometimes it takes a lot of muscle to get those things on because they don't always want to go on. Fernando, yo, what's going on, dude? Wolf, sorry. This is the only live stream we've done this week, you guys. I do apologize. Been stupid busy in meetings all week, but was like incredibly stoked for them. So, hey, we got a lot of stuff going on. Yo, what's up? What's up, Mike? Alberto, Jack, what's going on? How you doing? I am not too bad. I actually just finished up the intake track for the Blob Eye. I did not know up until about an hour ago that I could use one from an older Outback and an or Forester, but we're too late to that. We're already committed to this new one that I just kind of finished, but honestly, it looks OEM. My fiberglass skills are pretty trash, but it came out pretty good. Logan, what is happening tonight? You know, we're chilling, we're kicking it, we're doing stuff. We're gonna hang out, we're gonna kick it in a live stream. That's what we're gonna be doing. Connor, how are you doing, my friend? How are you doing, Connor? What's up, brother, man? What up, Victor? What's going on, dude? Mike, what's up? Thoughts on lightweight flywheel versus OEM for daily driving? What do you prefer? If you're looking just to keep it like relatively stock, honestly, just stick with an OEM flywheel. If you want a little bit less rotational mass on the transmission side, a lightweight flywheel is a very good way to go. I run lightweight flywheel. It's only in the STI right now, only in the black STI, and it feels awesome. It feels great. I love them personally. Some people hate them. Some people swear by just sticking with OEM. If you have never driven one with a lightweight flywheel, I suggest you go find one of your buddies who might have a lightweight flywheel installed on their car, and give it a go, give it a feel. See how you like it. Austin, hello. What's going on? Sup, man? Junio, I think I got that one right. That coil pack. That's what I'm saying. I honestly never would have guessed that the ticking noise was a coil pack if it wasn't for you guys. So everyone, like I said, everyone who suggested coil pack, kudos, 10 points to Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, I don't know, whatever team you're on, but kudos and brownie points, you guys. What's up, Raheem? Greetings from Brazil. Well, what's going on, my friend? No more ticking, right? No more ticking. Ticking is completely gone. Now we just got to figure out this idling issue, which I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to point this out right now because a lot of people seem to be a little bit confused in the last video. AFRs are not what they were reading right then and there when you guys saw them on the access port and the AEM gauge. What happens is the AFRs start to lean out progressively until they just hit 18 and 17, both upstream and downstream. And then the RPMs just climb on their own with the car. It's something map sensor related. I don't know what it is. The new map sensor gets dropped off tomorrow, so hopefully that fixes the issue. I'm going to be cutting and splicing on the new map sensor. I'm just going to hardwire it directly to the car just because I don't want to keep dealing with this issue. So hopefully that fixes our problem. Where'd I just go? Yo, so the new coil pack fixed the tick. That it did. I have some grinding from first to second gear with my STI short shifter. However, it goes away once the car is warm. Is that normal? If you haven't swapped out fluids or you still have the OEM fluid in the car, try swapping that out for some Motul 7590. Should definitely help reduce the problem, assuming it's not like a bad sync row or a bad gear, which is not common at all on the STIs unless you're really beating on the car. That's where I would kind of start with that. Hey, I have an 06 WX. I'm getting smoke from the turbo area. Is my turbo bad? First thing I would check is crush washers for the oil feed line, and I would also check the coolant lines, make sure that those are not leaking as well. That's where I would first start and kind of diagnose it from there. Check fluids, because fluids are going to be the first thing to smoke. So happy to see the 05 STI up and running. I mean, it's kind of up and running. It's not really like driving worthy quite yet. Hopefully it is here after tomorrow when the new map sensor gets dropped off. Hopefully that honestly just fixes the issue. If not, then I have some deeper digging to do to try to figure out why we have a bad barometric pressure sensor or baro issue. I'm really hoping it's the map sensor. I'm banking on it to be the map sensor. Fiberglass looks good. That's what I'm saying. It came out a lot better than I was expecting. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It honestly came out looking significantly better than I was actually expecting the fiberglass to. Especially doing it as my first time playing with fiberglass. Let me see. Screen share. I didn't... God, I'm slacking tonight. I didn't even set it up. Where's my Safari? Safari. There it is. Bam. So this is kind of how you guys saw it yesterday for the fiberglass section of that intake. And then today I went through and I started molding and sanding everything. So it looks a hell of a lot better than it did when you guys saw it in the videos. So honestly, it came out incredible. Almost looks OEM, but quite not. Plumber, welcome, man. It's been a while, my friend. Haven't made a stream in a while and can't stay for this. You're the man, Tanner. Hey, I always appreciate the donos, Plumber. Hope whatever you got going on tonight is pretty chill and you have a relaxing night, my friend. We might do a second stream this weekend just because I missed Tuesday because I was in meetings all day, but always appreciate it, my friends. But anyways, intake track. So it came out honestly pretty well. That's about as OEM looking as I could get it. But going from that, never playing with fiberglass before, and a lot of people were saying that I wasn't using resin. That was like a putty resin made for plastic. So using it on the intake track like that, it was designed to be made or to be used on that one. But came out pretty good. You guys will see some more of that in the next video. Probably, when is the next video? What is today? I don't even know what today is. Today's Friday. We uploaded this morning, not Saturday or Sunday. You guys will see it Sunday. Thanks for the last video, man. I think coil packs are going to be next thing I do. I have a weird knocking sound from the engine, or when the engine warms too. Never would have thought coils. I never would have thought coils either, but always a good thing to check. Also, Connor, appreciate the dono, dude. You guys are already absolutely killing it. What are we, 10 minutes into the stream, and you guys are already absolutely killing it with the donos, my friends. Always appreciate it, Connor. Thank you, my friend. What are all the differences in the FP turbos? Looking to upgrade my turbo on my 17 STI, and also looking to upgrade my brakes. What do you recommend? Well, honestly, I can't tell you what turbo to get because I don't know what your plans are for the car. When it comes down to turbo selection, they're all obviously going to be different size turbos, different ARs, area over radius. You're going to have different compressor sizes, different wheel sizes, different CHRAs. There's a lot that goes into turbo, so kind of figuring out how much wheel horsepower you want to get out of the car is going to really determine what turbo you want to get. FP makes a lot of really good turbos for Subaru applications, but it kind of boils down to how much power do you want to make. Same thing kind of goes with the brakes. Like, what are you going to be using the car for? Like, I could suggest brakes to you, but I mean, you could be going out doing like heavy track days, and I recommend street based brakes for you. So honestly, it all depends on what you're using the car for. Logan, sweet, going to watch and paint the house. That painting the house does not sound fun. That does not sound fun. I hope you're having fun with it though. Lower radiator hose going into the thermostat housing is giving me trouble. Using an OEM hose, heard a little WD-40, but not sure about mixing it with coolant. I know it would only be a little. So one thing that I always do, maybe some people don't completely agree with this, is I typically tend to lube up the neck of the filler just a little bit with a small dab of oil. You're not going to be drenching your coolant in oil, and you're not going to be mixing a ton of it, even if you are just lightly putting a small coat around there. If it is giving you trouble on there, make sure you did order the right hose too. I'm assuming that you do have the right hose. If it still doesn't want to go on, sometimes you need to trim the hoses a little bit. Even the OEM ones, they're not always drop in direct fit, especially if you have a bigger radiator, just because it's going to push that neck out a little bit further. So if you need to do a little bit of trimming and it is a new hose with an aftermarket radiator, it just might need a little bit of trimming, or you really might just have to muscle it on there. But on the bright side, if you do really have to muscle it on there, at least you know it's not going to leak relatively easily. Yo, Ryan, what's going on, dude? Yo, imagine where the car would be if you figured out the coil pack in the first place. I think it was better that you missed it initially. I totally agree. I mean, even if we would have found the coil pack in the first place, I don't think we would have gone to the extent with the modifications that we did on the 05 STI. And I'm kind of glad that we did do all of those modifications to the car. I mean, the engine would have had to come out either way at some point to replace the clutch in there. We also needed to fix all the oil leaks. We never would have known that it had cams in it if we didn't pull that out. We never would have found that bad bucket underneath of the cam that was throwing off our valve lash either. So I mean, it is a good thing that we pulled the motor. I honestly never would have thought to think coil pack. I just never crossed my mind. OEM, that is with the I got you, OEM hose. Do I need a tune for a Coil radiator? No, you do not. The only time you really need a tune is when you're changing the amount of fuel going in the engine, in or out. Yeah, it's going to be out too because you return. Anything that changes air or fuel that goes in or out of the engine is typically what you're going to need a tune for. Not late this time. Glad to hear it was just a Coil. That's what I'm saying, David. That's what I'm saying. Welcome, man. Welcome. Joe, sup, buddy? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, my friends. Damn, almost 40K. I remember when you were at 2K. I know, right? That was like a year ago. It absolutely blows my mind how much the channel has actually grown in like a year. Absolutely blows my noodle wide open. But love doing this. Love being able to hang out with you guys and kick it. Appreciate the dono, my friend. You guys are killing it. You guys are killing it. Thank you, Christian. And we got the dancing pair. I love the dancing pair. The dancing pair is always my friend. Always a good pair. Always a good pair. A pair of pairs. We got a pair of pairs out here. On a 20 STI, does the intake box still fit with the front mount intercooler? That entirely depends on what intake box you're using and what front mount intercooler you're using. That entirely depends on those two variables. I don't know. Some do, some don't. But, I mean, oh, is that fiberglass? I hear fiberglass my eye. I don't think so. Nope. Nope, just an eye booger. Just an eye booger. If you're using, like, the stock intake, regardless, most of them need trimming. Most of them do need trimming. Actually, they all need trimming. They're all going to need trimming. Dude, heck yes. That's what I'm saying. Byron, what is going on? Archflow, super hyped for you. Always love the blob eye. Thanks, man. I'm, like, starting to get, like, super attached to that blob eye. I cannot wait to actually be able to drive that car on the road. I've only driven it, like, 3 times. I've driven that car 3 times on the street. Aside from that, it's been sitting in the garage. What's up? Almost 40K, making moves. Can't wait till 100. That's what I'm saying, Tyler. Always appreciate the support, you guys. You guys always kill it. Originally from San Diego, but hello from West Virginia. I've seen the smoke from the turbo area also coming from too much oil in the engine. I have also seen that, and if you are running a turbo, especially a ball bearing turbo, and you're not controlling oil flow going to the turbo, but I'm guessing you have a stock turbo, one of the things even with the ball bearings is if you're not controlling oil flow, you can be putting too much oil into the turbo, and then you're going to be burning some off. But like I said, I would first check those crush washers for both. Well, you only have one. I would check the crush washer for the oil feed. I would also check the oil drain just to make sure like it's not going outside of that. Even if it's torn a little bit, you can get some oil dripping down on the subframe, maybe getting down onto the header. If it smells like coolant, check both your coolant lines as well. And Tyler, appreciate the dono, man. Appreciate it, dude. You guys always kill it. Always kill it. Love it. Would I ever build a bug eye? Yes, I love bug eyes. I used to have a bug eye. I miss my bug eye. Bug eyes are cool little cars. Love bug eyes. Damn, CS Gray, another donut. You guys are absolutely killing it. Appreciate the $50, man. I've been watching for a while. You're incredibly knowledgeable, and I always find you helpful. I got some money from GameStop. GameStonks. I never donated to any streamers before, so here's to a start. Hey, appreciate it, my friend, and congrats on the Game Stonks. I totally missed out on all the Game Stonks and AMC stuff that everyone was doing. Then again, I don't really do any trading or anything like that. But appreciate the dono, man. Appreciate it. You guys are absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. Miss anything? Ricky, I don't think we missed anything like super important quite yet. We've been going for like 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes, man. Any performance recommendations? I have an 06 WRX with an intake and downpipe along with an air oil separator. It's on coilovers. Any other performance recommendations? Definitely a get a Dom cylinder 4 cooling mod. A larger radiator never hurts either. Once again, you're not going to be decreasing your overall coolant temps, but you are going to be increasing the efficiency at which your radiator operates, so that way it can operate a little bit better if you do decide to push the car, or even on hotter days if you live in a hotter area. For sure, definitely. At minimum, those two. If it's an 06 WRX, I would also take a look at some of your bushings, go through there, replace any bushings that might need to be replaced. 06 was what, 15 years ago? Some of those OE rubber bushings tend to deteriorate rather quickly, so it never hurts to go through there and swap any out that might need to be. What's up? What's up, Raphael? Bro, I'm so hyped for the builds. Woo! Me too. The blob eye is coming out so nice. Cannot wait to see that flat 6 thrown in. Same. I can't wait to get it back. Jeremy contacted me the day before yesterday. He's trying to get the engine shipped back out, or at least the short block shipped back out to us this week, which would only be tomorrow if he was able to. So I don't know if it's going to happen this week. Could happen early next week. But as soon as our short block comes back from Outfront Motors, we're definitely going to get that long block assembled. We're going to build it from the short block to the long block. I'd still need to buy the timing components for the EG33. I have absolutely no idea how to time that car. Or that engine. I have absolutely no idea. It's not like your standard EJ257 or something similar where you have cam gears that you line up only on the outside. You have to take, from what I understand, you have to take the valve covers off, and there's 2 marks on the backside of the internal cam gears because you have 2 internal cam gears and then you have 1 external cam gear. It's a really weird setup. When the time comes, I'll show you guys, but I have to learn how to do that because I don't know how to do it. Ren from Oz. What's going on, man? Just bought a WRX STI 2011 from 4th, 5th. I get a bit of grinding. It seems to be the short shifter. I'm not sure what it could be. It happens while driving. Cheers. Like I said earlier, I would definitely consider going in there and swapping out the gear oil. You don't know the last time it was swapped out. Subaru does suggest swapping it out every 30,000 miles. Depending on if you have service records or not, that might still be within spec. But even if it's not, that Motul 7590 is a very good option for those transmissions. They feel incredible. Well, they feel even better with that swapped gear oil. Some people don't like it, don't quite understand. I think it gives a smoother feel to the notchiness of the STI 6-speed. If it is a short shifter, if you have like the Cobb double adjustable short shifter and it's set too short, I've seen that create issues also with a hair of grinding if people slam those short shifters all the way down. But that's kind of the first 2 things I would be looking at. I wouldn't worry too much if it is going to be an internal problem. I would start with those 2 and then continue diagnosing after that. I do love the wingless look myself. That's what I'm saying. I absolutely love wingless Subarus. I love them. A lot of people say the wing's gonna stay on the Blobeye for the time being, just because I don't have to buy a trunk, and we still might run into other mechanical issues down the line where we're gonna have to fix or update more things. I suspect a lot of the bushings in the suspension need to be swapped out anyways, so that's probably gonna be on my to-do list. Also, we've got a lot of stuff to do. Stu. I feel it, Joshua. What's good, peeps? What up, Omni? What's good, mofos? Well, what's going on, my friend? What's going on? Have you had any fogging problems? I get terrible fogging almost instantaneously in the winter with anti-fog on the windows, and they just ice up. I personally have not. If you're having an issue with a lot of fogging, it could be the windshield seal. If it is an older windshield in there, you might be getting some, I don't want to say rotting, but some leakage into the windshield, which is causing a lot of moisture to build up on the inside of the windshield. I've seen it happen a couple times before. I don't even know how to check for that. Personally, I haven't had the issue. Bet you won't do a WRX wing. You right, Butterfly. I will not do a WRX wing. I'm not a huge fan of the WRX wing. I don't think the WRX wing looks all that good. It's like it's just a little baby wing. It's just a little baby wing on there. Not a huge fan. I would much rather go wingless. Full wingless. Full wingless. We should just do full wingless, no hood scoop, and just make it look like an Impreza. That's what we should do. We're not doing that. I do think the S209 Turbo or Cobb 20G can get me near 400 wheel horsepower. Mark on my 19 STI. Looking into these due to carb certs and being in California. Also looking to adding flex fuel. So I know the Cobb 20G maxes out at about 400 wheel horsepower. If you're on E85, you might be able to squeeze out just a hair more. But you're really going to be putting a lot of stress on that turbo. I don't know if FP Blue or the FP Blues or any FP turbos are like carb compliant within California. If not, I would definitely consider that. I would definitely consider the Cobb 20G. I've seen people push the S209 HKS turbo pretty far. I think the farthest I've seen someone push that one is 420 wheel horsepower. As for the reliability aspect of pushing that turbo that hard, I do not know. So it could be a toss-up with that one. Thoughts on unequal length headers for the FAWXs. I've touched on this before. I love my WRX, but every time I pull up next to an EJ, I get sad that I don't have the rumble. Don't do it. Don't. I do not suggest anybody put unequal length headers on their FA20 WRX. You are absolutely wrecking all of the performance aspects of why that car came with equal length headers. You're going to lose the twin scroll settings or the twin scroll advantages of having that, since you're going to be swapping to an unequal length manifold. You're going to be reducing your gas mileage. You're going to be increasing your EGTs in cylinders 2 and 4 because you're going to be increasing the length of those runners. So you're going to be effectively increasing the potential for knock to happen, which is going to decrease your reliability. It's not worth it. It's not worth it in my opinion. I would highly suggest staying with the equal length. There's a lot of EJ guys like myself that swap to equal length headers anyways. Like, equal length is more efficient. It's not all about sound. We're shooting for efficiency here. Efficiency. Ayo, what's going on, Oreo? Found a paint wrinkle on the new STI, so car's in the shop, but the dealer set me up with a Sweet Forester Subi Gang. Hey, that's not bad for a loaner. That ain't bad. It's not a bad loaner at all. Have been subbed since I bought my 11 STI hatch. Ooh, love your content, willingness to share knowledge and overall attitude. Appreciate you. Hey, appreciate it, Nick. Hope you are enjoying the 11 STI. I used to have an 11 STI hatch. I missed that car. It was silver. It was a nice silver STI hatch. I missed that thing. Yo, happy Friday. Happy Friday, gamer. What supporting mods do you recommend on a 2016 WRX? Honestly, the FA20 WRXs are pretty stout cars when it comes to the reliability aspect of them. If you want to make it even more reliable, if you're in a state that allows you to do this, I think California and one other one are pretty strict. I think it's New Jersey. Someone else can correct me on that if I am wrong. But I would definitely consider doing an air oil separator, EGR delete, TGV delete. If you want to make a little bit more power, since you're in there, you might as well just do them all together at the same time. Larger radiator, and you're pretty much going to be set. Those FA20s are pretty good if you really wanted to go all out. Actually, you know what? We're going to stop there. That's probably going to be good. What kind of air intake do I have on the Blob Eye? I have a Cobb SF intake with the Cobb SF intake box, and then I am reworking that OEM intake track to make it functional again, so that way we can actually have external air being fed to the intake, so that way we're just not cooking everything in there. What's going on? What's the status of Matt's vehicles? Which one? So Mittens, who was introduced on the channel today, is Matt's. Mittens is chilling until we get other projects figured out. Chewy, the Outback, the silver Outback, is kind of just chilling right now. I think Matt ordered new headlights for that one the other day. The Neon, we have parts in for the Neon. So Matt ordered a Willwood big brake setup for the front of the car, new hubs all around for it, new wheel bearings, rear brake lines, brake pads, and rotors. We've been trying to find the stupid shifter bracket for that transmission on that car, but it's like a non-existent part. He bought one off of some dude on Facebook, but the dude on Facebook kind of just dipped out and never sent the part, which is kind of shitty. But yeah, hopefully we get some Neon stuff coming up. We got parts for the Neon out in the garage right now. We're just waiting on the rest of them to come in. Do you have any opinions on oil for a track day? WRX with the FA20. I've read people use heavy duty 530, mobile ESP, Castor Pro, Lique Mole, 4600, but I figured I should ask for your opinion. So when I was driving around my FA20 WRXs, I always ran Motul 5W30. I never had any issues with it. I didn't necessarily track that car, but I did do a lot of mountain driving with that car, just because it's free and I can go there anytime. In my experience, I like the Motul. I have also used Liqui Moly in that car in the past as well. Never had any issues. I never ran any oil analysis with that. But my personal opinion on what I have just used before is Motul and Liqui Moly. Both of them, never any issues. What other fuel mix can I do besides the 85 on my Stage 2 Plus, because I live in California? Do they not? I thought they allowed E85 in California. I thought that was allowed, because they have like E85 stations like absolutely everywhere down there. I know some people use methanol. I don't know if methanol is legal in California. It's not really a fuel mix necessarily. I mean, it kind of is. I don't know if race gas is legal in California. I don't know what's legal in California. I cannot answer this question. I don't know what California allows. So what's the story on Mittens? So Mittens blew up like in May of 2020. It had an engine knock for years. That thing had an engine knock for like 2 or 3 years. And then once it finally blew up, we were talking about doing some stuff to it, and then it just kind of sat and hung out for a while, and now it's still sitting and hanging out. What Matt was talking about doing with Mittens is swapping the setup that's in Chewy, the silver Outback XT, and putting it all in Mittens, and then rebuilding the Outback with like an STI 6-speed bigger built engine. I get a more built engine, doing a rotated setup or a fog light turbo setup. He has a lot of plans. It's just kind of financial stuff. It's expensive. It gets expensive. So we're kind of taking it one car at a time. So for the time being, Mittens is just kind of chilling. Should I do the cylinder 4 coolant mod and AOS in one go because of the coolant loss, or does it not really affect one or another? If you're going to be doing it for ice, I would definitely suggest just doing all of the coolant mods, all the coolant related modifications all at once. Just because, I mean, even with the Gidadom cylinder 4 cooling mod, you're gonna have to drain some coolant out of the oil cooler anyways, just so you don't get like covered with coolant when you go to pop off the plug on the backside of the engine. I would definitely suggest doing them all in one go, so that way you can just bloop, fill everything back up with coolant, be good to go, and you don't have to mess with it again for quite some time. So yeah, I would definitely suggest doing them kind of simultaneously. Jose, what's going on, dude? Hi, what is up? Got a 2019 WX. I wanted to put a remark muffler delete axle back. Will that void my warranty? No, it will not. Anything, you can do a whole cat back and it won't void your warranty. It's anything, if you start messing with the catalytic converters, that's where it gets dicey with warranty claims if you ever need to make one. Sup, my dude? Thanks for the storms you sent our way. Do you got storms over there? It's like nice, it's been like nice and sunny here the past couple days. Recommendation for a short shifter 18WX Boomba, 100%. Does the quality of fuel go down in winter compared to summer? My roommate swears the 92 octane fuel from Shell differs from season changes. There are seasonal changes with fuel, but it's more or less related to E85 rather than pump gas. Pump gas stays pretty consistent throughout the year. I mean, seasonal shouldn't matter too much for pump gas. If you're referring to E85, but I mean, you said 92 octane, but since we're on the topic, E85 will vary from season to season, just because that one is a seasonality based fuel, since it's used from like bio crops and all this other stuff, and where it comes from too, because that makes a huge factor as well. But for pump gas, it shouldn't make a difference. Seasonal wise, it shouldn't. Good evening. What's going on, my man? Hope everyone is doing well and staying warm. It hasn't been too bad up here, luckily. What turbo and mods do you recommend to reach 400 to 450 wheel horsepower 2012 STI? Yeah, I'm not going to toss out a whole mod list right now. It's going to take a little while. As for turbo, if you're looking for a good turbo though, like FP red, FP green, all supporting fueling modifications, exhaust modifications, the whole kit and caboodle, but I'm not going to go through an entire like part by part mod list right now. If you want to reach up to 400 wheel horsepower, go check out the video that I made. It was like $13,000 to reach 400 wheel horsepower, and that'll literally give you a broken down part by part list to get you to around 400. You swap out the turbo, you swap out the injectors and the fuel pump, and you can just mix and match how much power you want to make. Good to know. I'll probably stick with a conservative 350 to 375 if I can find a better carb option. Glad I could help, my friend. Thanks for making your videos. They help a lot. Also, thanks for answering my questions on the 06WR. And the 06WX is completely wingless. That's what I'm saying. That's what I like. Wingless. Fogging could also be sunroof drains. Also very true. My G35 had a small drip on the driver's side pillar for a while. Every rain, then the right hand, RH, right hand left me 2 inches of... 2 inches of water? Woo! Dude, your advice is always spot on. I try to do what I can. Your contributions to the Subaru community are always super appreciated. Anytime, my man. Anytime. I'm doing what I can to help. How are bug eyes compared to the rest? Did you see all of the things that I had to go through and fix on the 05 STI? Expect to fix about the same on a bug eye, unless you're getting a bug eye from a very well-maintained owner. Most of them at this point, like, they're 20 years old almost. They're going to have issues. They're going to have problems. They're going to have rust. Expect to spend some time and money going in there to actually correct all of that. They're going to have problems. Just keep that in mind. I so want an 11 or 12 STI hatch. Melanie does too. She does too. Snaked both drains out, and it's been pretty good since. Still get some condensation occasionally. It'll happen. What do you think of the Killer Bee radiator? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I absolutely love Killer Bee. I've worked with Killer Bee multiple times. Killer Bee makes a ton of good products, but I will never buy a Killer Bee radiator. They make it's a really high quality radiator. Don't get me wrong. Very good radiator. Very good radiator core. Absolutely love Killer Bee, but I would not buy Killer Bee's header. It's way outside of budget for what I would be willing to pay for a header, or for a radiator. I want to say the radiator costs. I want to say it's like $1,100. Let's take a look. Let me pull it up right now because I am genuinely curious. How much does this cost? Oh! 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 $1,500. $1,500. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Killer Bee and all the parts they make, but I will never spend $1,500 on a radiator. Never. I won't do it. I would never do it. Never do it. Nope. Nope. Won't do it. Nope. Can't do it. Buy like a Coil. I like Coil. Coil makes good radiators also, and they're affordable. Outside of Coil, don't buy that. And if anyone at Killer Bee sees this, love your guys' products. Radiator is expensive. Ever taken your cars to the drag strip? Not like a drag strip, if that's what you mean. Like back in the day, I used to go to the drag strip with a whole bunch of people, like way back when. Outside of statute of limitations and in a different state at this point. But no, the 17 STI will be one of the first cars that I have taken to a drag strip with like all like safety requirements and everything like that. So yeah, the 17 STI will be the first one to go out there. Love my 09 STI hatch. Hey, appreciate the $5 as well, Ravenchild. Always appreciate it, my friend. And love the 09. Love the hatch. I miss my 08 hatch and my 11 hatch. I love both. I love hatches. I like hatchbacks. Radiator question answered, I guess. It's a good radiator, not worth $1,500 in my opinion. Hey, you worked on headlights a lot. You are correct. I've built hundreds of headlights. The sleek Amia headlights are starting to get condensation. Would you say reseal is needed in terms of... if you want to keep running those headlights, I would highly suggest resealing them. Some headlights are a lot easier to reseal than others. Sometimes I use it's like a bonding material called Permaseal. Permaseal is absolutely awful to try to get off of anything. Hopefully they're Budol sealed because Budol is easily replaceable. If it is permasealed shut, then you're going to have to use a chemical that Morimoto makes. I forgot the actual name of it, but if you look it up, look for like Morimoto Permaseal chemical, like dissolvent or something like that. Really harsh chemicals used to be able to open headlights up like that. If it is Budol, super easy to reseal. Pop it in the oven, open it up, put new Budol in there, seal it back up, throw it back in the car. Since the IAG air oil separator is the best, it's one of the best, what's the point of the Grimspeed air oil separator? What's the point of it? It's a product that Grimspeed sells. I don't think they get a ton of sales on their air oil separators with IAG and Cobb selling their air oil separators, which Cobb is just a rebranded IAG one at that point. But it's just another product that they sell. I don't know what their actual numbers are on how many units they sell. I don't suggest Grimspeed air oil separators to anyone. And I say this about a lot of companies. Some companies have really good products, and they can also have really bad products. Grimspeed does make good products, but their air oil separator is just not one of them. A good, clear silicone reseal should be meant for those lights. Just get like Morimoto retro rubber. Just retro rubber, open it up, put new retro rubber in, seal it back up, throw it back in the car. Yo, Tanner, what's up? Just showing up, but better late than never. I totally feel it. Totally feel it. What's a good short shifter kit? Jose, for what car? I don't know what car. That's going to entirely depend on what car you have. Yeah, E85 here in Cali. Yeah, see, E85 is allowed in Cali. Just rock E85. What's wrong with E85? You guys got E85 everywhere down there. We have E85 at like 2 stations up here. Utilize the E85. Be the E85, but don't smell the E85. Every time I get gas, my 05 STI has trouble starting. What do you think the issue could be at Smedia? It has trouble starting. My first thought would be like charcoal canister if it happens right after you fill up. Something in the fuel tanks. Oh, I forgot Small Dog was back there. Something in the PCV system or the charcoal canister system might be having issues right after you fill up. If you're throwing any check engine lights or cells for anything in the PCV system or related to that, that's where I would start. I would also just start by like taking a look at your charcoal canister as well. Your charcoal canister at this point is 16 years old. The one in my STI is also 16 years old. That's probably something that I should do as well, but that's going to be the first thing that comes to my mind is if it only happens right after you fill up with gas. Installed a front mount intercooler intake manifold. Installed a front mount intercooler intake manifold. Does that mean you like 180 the intake manifold? Temps great, coolant temps great, 190, 200, but my oil temps are now 10 to 15 degrees hotter than they used to be. They are still in the safe zone, but why the raise in temps? I don't see why there should be any functional or any reason why there should be any type of change in temps. If it's an STI, you have an internal oil cooler that works off of the coolant system. So if you, well, technically you did throw an intercooler core right in front of the coolant or the radiator, so you're putting less air going through the radiator, but you still have air flowing through the radiator, but your coolant temps might have increased slightly, which would cause your oil cooler temps to also increase, which would cause your oil to increase in temps. Best case scenario, or just throw an oil cooler on the car and that'll fix the issues. If not, if they're still in the safe zone, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But like logically thinking, that's kind of where I would like my mind goes is you just put an intercooler core in front of the radiator. The radiator supplies the coolant that cools the oil in your oil cooler. So it's just, you're stacking more stuff in front of it. Everything is legal in California. It just becomes an issue of if you're caught. Churro. Wait, is it, don't you have to like revert your car back to stock if you're caught? Like, isn't that what they like make you do? I don't know. 2020 STI, 350 wheel horsepower, 355 foot-pounds of torque on a Mustang dyno, FP Blue, equal length header, and all supporting modifications. What a difference! Enjoy the weekend. Sounds like a fun car. Sounds like a fun setup. Sounds like you got a good setup over there. Would I be interested in the supposed FA24 STI, being that you're an EJ guy? I mean, it's a it's like a double-sided question. Would I be interested in modifying an FA24 STI? 100% yes. Would I buy one? No, I would not. I would not buy one. I love your channel. Notice me! Well, hello, Omar. I have noticed you. Welcome to the live stream. 2015 plus Tomei unequal length headers or nah. Nah, I talked about this one early in the stream. Nah. Keep equal length. Equal length. I've got the cracked plastic intakes on my FXT radiator. Any recommendations other than Coil? Don't say Mishi. I won't run their stuff. CSF. CSF is also a very affordable radiator setup. I've used CSF in the past with very good results. Never had an issue with them. CSF or Coil would be my suggestions. Well, timing kit came in. That's what I'm talking about. Gonna do the full kit with the cam seal and crank seals. Then off to PRE for tuning. Hey, Eric down there at PRE, a super good tuner. You'll have an awesome time down there. Most likely getting the Coil, but open to other suggestions. Another one is CSF, like I said. Rumble Hatch, I don't know why it's hiding your comment. Actually, I do. I see it now. Keep up the grind, bro. Tanner. There's some families that watch this, so I'm not going to toss it out there. But glad the STI is no more ticking. For real, I'm super glad that ticking is gone. I'm actually like ecstatic that ticking is gone because that thing was going to drive me nuts. I'm about to do a clutch replacement. Purchased my 13WRX in August, and I've been doing maintenance since while enjoying some spirited driving on the side. Whoops. Hey, it's not too bad. Like I always suggest, pull the engine, do your clutch. It's a lot easier. It's a hell of a lot easier. With swapping my 04 WRX turbo with a VA STI turbo, it's going to be a VF39. Be worth the effort for pushing over 275 wheel horsepower. Yes. I actually just sold, or is that the VF48? VF39 came in the 05 STI. VF48 came in the newer STIs. VF48 is in the 17 or the 15 plus STIs. For sure. It's an affordable option. You can pick up those turbos. I've sold all of mine for around like $350 to like $450, so they're pretty affordable. What are your horsepower goals for the EG33? My goals for the EG33 are around 1,000 wheel horsepower and around 800 to 850 foot-pounds of torque on the kill tune. The way it's going to be set up is it's going to have 3 tune intervals. The first tune will probably be around 600 horsepower. Mid tune will probably be around 800, and then kill tune will be full chooch around 1,000 wheel horsepower. All the beans. All the beans. Do you think swapping out the stock engine training and pitch stop mounts for the group end mounts would be worthwhile? 100%. That's what we did on the 05 STI. Just to get all those old, gummy, blown out mounts out, we put group end mounts all the way across, except for the pitch stop mount, which I used an IAG one. But the 05 STI does have group end engine mounts and a group end transmission mount. They're affordable options that give like pretty good performance over stock. And they give you some like comfort too as a daily driver. It's not completely shaking the entire car when you're driving like solid mounts would. Jose, yo, what up, Tanner? What are your opinions on Cobb's Redline intake for the STI VA models? Before I even read the rest of your question, I'm going to tell you right now, I think the Redline intake is the stupidest, dumbest intake I have ever seen Cobb make, and they're just doing it to make money, to be honest. Get the SF intake if you're asking me. Don't even buy the Cobb Redline. I was told by a fellow Subi owner that you can't run a front mount intercooler with it. True or not? Such a beautiful piece, in my opinion. I think it's wildly overpriced for an intake. The Cobb SF intake is a proven intake. A lot of people have used it. You can definitely use the Cobb SF intake with the box and a front mount intercooler. I've done it before in a VA chassis with the ETS front mount and the Cobb SF intake. That Redline intake, you will never see me buy one. I can never justify spending, and I buy a lot of like high quality parts because I'm pretty picky when it comes to my parts. But I've got a line, and spending $550 to $600 on an intake, that's where the line gets crossed, especially for a Subaru. I would not suggest it. I personally wouldn't suggest it, and then, unless you're just buying it for the looks. From a performance aspect, the Cobb SF intake, just the standard intake with box for like $350 is going to be like always my suggestion. I'm noticing my coolant is slightly going down every couple weeks. Everything looks okay. Should I leave it and wait to see if it gets worse? 14 STI. Well, if your coolant levels are going down, the coolant's going somewhere. And the only areas where coolant can disappear to are in the head gasket if they're getting out. If you literally cannot be consuming oil or coolant any other way, you might have a coolant leak. You either have a coolant leak or you're consuming coolant, because the coolant doesn't just disappear. It's going somewhere. The coolant is going somewhere. We just don't know where. I would check for leaks to start with. It wouldn't be a bad idea to run a compression test. If you have a blown out head gasket, you're going to have low compression in one of the cylinders, and that'll kind of tell you if you do. But just remember, the coolant's got to go somewhere. The coolant has to go somewhere. It just doesn't disappear. Are you into stocks? Have you seen the game Stonks and Robinhood deal? Robinhood allegedly is being sued. I've been keeping I watch the news a lot. Like whenever I'm working and hear all of the news on in the background or anything like that. So I've been following it all. I personally don't invest or trade or anything like that, because it seems like I used to, like back in the day, but it seems like I always have the worst luck with it. So I just stay away from it. Overpriced. Coil is best. So I'm saying Coil or CSF. LOL, what are the odds the last owner of the blob I sold it due to not being able to find the tick? He didn't look hard enough. I mean, I wouldn't have. I guess at some point I would have found the tick, but no. Next video, installing a $1,200 radiator, $1,500 radiator, and that video will never happen. I promise you that. What about CSF? CSF is good. I suggested CSF earlier. I broke the fuel feed connector on the fuel pump hanger. Ooh. Bought a pen replacement connector and line. I'm hoping to fish it through without dropping the tank. Ooh, what's the car, Keith? Because I have a brand new, well, it's not brand new. I have a used fuel pump basket out of my 2017 STI. I'd be willing to sell it to you if you need one. It has like a DW 300C in it or something like that. If not, best of luck fixing it, my friend. Radiator question answer, I guess. I know. $1,500 for a radiator. That's what I'm saying. What are my horsepower goals? We talked about that one. I'm so late. Technically, or not. We've only been going for like 45 minutes. But I'm thinking of getting JDM spats or splash guards. Same as you have on the 17 STI. I dig those ones. I like them. Figure out if any spats like the Bison R or anything like that will fit under those JDMs. No, they will not. The JDMs are physically longer than the bumper would be, so you will not fit any spats on there unless they're like polyurethane ones and you're able to stretch them out quite a ways. Trust me, I tried to fit those OEM ones on there any way I could, and it just wasn't happening. Hey, happy Friday. What's going on? Phil, what's going on? Any suggestions on who to have rebuild a 2004 WRX 5-speed here in the Pacific Northwest? Want to build one together. Personally, I don't know anyone local that rebuilds them. It's not too bad to do if you wanted to do it in your garage, though. If I do a trans and diff fluid, I think I should get Motual. Do they make the trans run smoother? They do. They actually do. Motual is what I use in all my cars. It's one of the first things I do whenever I buy a brand new car to me, which is a used car. Is I always go in there, I swap out all the fluids, rear diff and transmission with gear oil or LSD, whatever the rear one is, 90 PA or whatever I have back there. But yeah, definitely Motual. I use it. It does shift a lot smoother while still retaining the notchiness of the STI 6-speed. What is the best radiator that you recommend? Personally, Coil. 100% Coil. Don't look up Zionsville radiators for BMWs. Expensive AF. There's a line when it comes to like how much I'll be willing to spend on parts. What do I think about K-swapping a BRZ? Personally, I'm not a big Honda fan. If I was going to swap a BRZ, it would probably be with a Toyota, Nissan, or Subaru motor. Personal preference on that one, though. When are you going to turn your car up IAG Stage 5 long block? Probably never. That'll probably never happen because I have spent way too much money on the other motor for the other STI. Another one. Not doing it. I don't need to buy a Stage 5 short block for my daily driver. That doesn't need to happen. Do you do YouTube full time? If not, what do you do for work normally? I do YouTube full time. That's why you guys get videos every other day and as many live streams as I can push out. And that is how I respond to all of your guys' comments. It is more than I consider YouTube more than a full-time job because I work a lot more hours than I have in any other job that I've had in the past. But yeah, I do this full time. Thank ya for the tip on the headlight. Anytime, Oreo. I have a 2019 WRX. Jose, now I gotta scroll back up and find the old comment, dude. I don't know. Short shifter kit for a 2019 WRX. Boomba. That's my only recommendation. Boomba. Built LGT. What up, bud? What up? About to put in my first Subi engine. I rebuilt from the bottom up. Congrats, by the way. It's not turboed, but any suggestions before start it up? Always, like, personal preference, disconnect the crank position sensor, disconnect the fuel pump, turn it over a couple times just to get some oil flowing through the block, so that way you're not completely dry starting it. I'm sure that when you went through there and you assembled it, you put assembly lube on any rotating or metal-to-metal parts that have contact, but it never hurts to go through there and just build a little bit of oil pressure. It's temporary oil pressure because as soon as you stop turning it over, obviously the pump stops pushing it, but it'll just get some good oil flowing through there. Good luck on the first start. Stressful. I need an opinion. Should I go with the digital dash for the RX-7 or replace it with OEM? They cost just as much. Personally, I would probably get the OEM. I'd probably get the OEM. I like the look of OEM, especially for FDs or RX-7s, whether it's an FC or an FD or an FB. I like the stock looking dash. Digital dashes, I just don't think it's needed unless you're going like full standalone, full race car setup. Doggo! He's sleeping in his bed. He's napping. Kidnap the Doge. I can't. The Doge is chilling. The Doge is just chilling. Don't forget to smash that like button. You already know what's up, my man. Appreciate your answer, man. Anytime. Not the little dog. The little dog's chilling. Any suggestions on why my 17 STI stock is running super rich, but only on cold starts? Spits out black smoke. Clean the MAF sensor and change the intake filter. Doesn't hurt to clean the map sensor. Also, you could have an injector that's stuck open. It's not too bad to pull the injectors out and get them flow tested, or at least get them cleaned, throw them back in, see if that's the issue. But that would be my first thought, is that you might have an injector that's just stuck open. If you're dumping too much fuel in there, you're obviously going to be running rich. If you can smell the fuel and you can see that it's running and kicking out black smoke out there, I would definitely start with injectors and kind of go from there. You could also run some like fuel injector cleaner through there and see if that helps. It's probably a cheaper option. It's probably what I'd do first. Yo, Fox, what's going on, my friend? What do I think about attaching the AC compressor to a water-cooled intercooler? I've seen people do it before. That's what Hellcats use. They use the AC compressor and the Freon and the AC compressor that feeds through the intercooler to cool the charged air. So it's like a weird AC to air intercooler setup. I've seen it done before. It's a really good setup. I don't know how to make it work, but people have done it. Is it possible? Yes. Like I said, that's what Hellcats use. Where do we go to ask a question? Scott, you just posted where you answer the question. Omar, my man. Appreciate the support, dude. Yes, if you get caught in California, you can get fined or impounded. If you get a fix-it ticket, you have to go to a ref and prove compliance or revert. Can't you just pay someone off? Like, if I lived in California and I got caught with a modified car, can I just pay someone off and just be like, leave me alone? Like, I'm going to do what I want. Here's $100, right? Like, just say it passed or something like that. That's what we used to do in Louisiana. We used to just pay the inspector $100 and he'd just write our inspection and we'd be good. Have a friggin' fantastic night, bro. Hey, appreciate it. Hope you do too, Omar. After the EG33 build, will you borrow my 19WX and cash to modify it for me for more FA20 content for the channel? Maybe. I mean, that might be something that I'm open to doing. I was thinking of venturing more into the Nissan or the Mazda realm after the EG33 build is done, which probably wouldn't be till next year anyways. But maybe, I don't know. I was kind of thinking of venturing into like a new, well, not new. I love Nissans. I used to have a ton of Nissans. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Rumble Hatch. Oops. You totally good, dude. Where did? Oh. Just got my 2010 STI hatch tuned by Eric at PRE. He does. Eric's going to be tuning the EG33 STI down at PRE. He knows his stuff. Very happy with the tune, for real. Tanner, I ordered all those parts I mentioned the other day. Then your video about the Killer Bee headers reminded me I forgot to change mine. So I ordered the Killer Bee ceramic coated as well. Big baller over there. Those are some expensive headers, but they're very good headers. You can't go wrong with them. Have I ever heard a weird rattle after installing an ACT 4-puck clutch? I've never used a 4-puck clutch before. I personally prefer full-face clutches. Full-face sprung clutches in all of my cars. It just makes driving them a little bit more enjoyable. Personally, I haven't. If anyone else has used an ACT 4-puck clutch, feel free to throw that answer out there. Any other grown men here play with yo-yos? No? I'll shut up. I mean, if I had a yo-yo, I'd play with it. I mean... On the outside, I think I'm a full-grown man, but like deep down, I'm a child. Hey Tanner, seriously, the ticking was coming from the coil pack? It was 100% the coil pack. Who would have thought? I saw in the video that the ticking noise was gone in the cold start video, but did it stay gone once the car was warmed up? Yes, it did, and you guys will be getting an idling video once the engine is fully warm. I'm going to be shooting that video tomorrow once the new coil packs are in there and the new map sensor. But yeah, the ticking is 100% gone. It was just that coil pack. Really weird. What brand of bulbs do you suggest when making your sea lights brighter? I suggest taking them apart and putting diode dynamic sea lights in there and then resealing them all back up. Speaking of the EG33, there's a guy down the road with me with a nicely restored SVX repainted in World Rally Blue. Very clean example. Oh, you don't see a lot of SVXs out on the road anymore. I think I see one maybe 6 months, one every 6 months. Don't see them that often. What do you think of the Process West V-mount setup? Very expensive setup. If you have the bones to be able to get that setup and you want to rock with it, I think it would be a very cool setup. Very efficient setup as well. Thanks, appreciate the feedback anytime. Yo, crazy week. It has been a crazy week. Is it a problem if my dam is dropping to 0.656 when my 16 STI just had a complete short block put in and no engine mods at all? All suggestions on what to do. If it's a brand new short, well, what tune do you have on there? What tune did you put on there? What tune you got on that thing? Are you going to keep the STI gray or are you going to do a new color after the engine is done? I don't know. I haven't really driven it with the gray color. I look at it every single day, though, so I'll probably rewrap it a different color. Or, you know, we probably might just go back to the blue. I kind of like the blue. I kind of miss the blue. The blue looked good. Kind of miss the blue. Where did I just go? What up, man? Happy Friday. What's going on, James? Any idea when we are getting the IAG V3 AOS video? I mean, I could upload it at any point. It's almost done. It's like 90% edited. I just have to finish editing it, and upload it. Just let me know when you want me to upload it, and I'll finish that video and upload it. How much would you recommend manual swap a Legacy GT? Well, that depends on what transmission you are using, my friend. What trans? What trans? Is it weird that my car shakes when it's idling? I mean, that could be a lot of things. That could be like bad engine mounts. That could be like a misfire. It could be bad pitch stop mount. There's a lot of things that could be. Oh, that's a good stretch, small dog. That's a good yawn, too. That's a good yawn. Did it cross your mind to install the old coil pack to see if the ticking came back? Nope. Well, yeah, it did cross my mind, but didn't have a need to. The ticking went away. It's gone. I don't want to put the old coil pack back in. I don't see a need to. And I don't know if it'll do the ticking anymore because I bent that metal like super far back because I started peeling the coil pack apart. So it's probably not even a good idea to throw it back in. I'm looking to get a short shifter for my 2018 WRX. What do you recommend? Is Boomba a good... How many times I've said Boomba? Boomba, 100% Boomba. Get Boomba. As will it void your warranty. It gives Subaru a potential reason to deny any warranty claims that you may make. It said that much. Small dog, open the door. Let me close this door real quick. Boop. I also wanted to touch on this because a lot of you guys were asking earlier this week when I said I have a lot of meetings that I was in like all day on Tuesday and Wednesday. 100%. I was in meetings all day. It was all YouTube related meetings, which were kind of cool. So I was meeting with a lot of manufacturers. It's like a SEMA media trade conference I was invited to. So it was really cool. I got to meet with like ACT, Holley, Fluid Dampener, Race Quip, a whole bunch of manufacturers, Deechworks, whole bunch of people, all working to try to get some stuff going on the channel. So I was invited to that, and I was in meetings all week for that. So for those of you that were curious, because I did see some of you guys asking like, hey, what meetings was I going to? I always like to be incredibly transparent with you guys. So there you go. I was kicking it with a whole bunch of manufacturers, hanging out with them, super cool companies. I am looking to continue modding the performance side of my 16WX and don't know what direction to go next. All I have so far is the Mishi Moto Performance Air Intake and am loving every minute of it. Well, that kind of depends on what you're going to be using the car for. I don't know what you're going to be using the car for. Is it going to be like an autocross car, just a daily driver, one that you're going to take spirited driving? Because that's really going to determine how you modify the car. What kind of music do I like? I don't think I've ever seen anyone ask that. Let me pull up my phone. What was I listening to in the garage when... Here's my YouTube music. What do I got? I've got David Guetta, Guru Project, Darude. Everyone knows Darude. Bingo Players. I don't even know who Becky Hill is. Dero. I mean, I guess these all kind of... Childish Gambino. Swedish House Mafia. Tiesto. Frank Ocean. My music's kind of all over the place. But, I mean, that gives, like, a reference of what I listen to. It's a little weird. It's a lot of, like, EDM and, like, kind of chill music. Best short shifter for 04 WRX Blob Eye Gang. Cartboy, 100%. I like Cartboy. Cartboy is, like, always my go-to. Regarding swapping the 86 chassis, place near me called Weapon Grade Performance. Pioneered the LS swap kit for that chassis back in, like, 12 or 13. Dubbed it the BRZ06. That's kind of dope. It's kind of chill. Love the knowledge and hard work. Hey, appreciate it, Jamie. Where did I... Well, I just lost my spot. Where did I just go? It's an 06 STI. It's actually a quick connect feed line that connects to the fuel pump hanger that's broken. Thanks for the offer, though. Hey, no problem, Keith. Figured I'd throw it out there if you needed it. Guru, as in Gangstar? No, I don't think so. If I play this, is it going to be, like, copyrighted? I just want to click on it. Where'd it go? No, it's, Oh, no, it's Infinity by Guru, Josh, Project... I don't remember the name of it. Something like that. Something along those lines. Should get the DAMD steering wheel for the Blob Eye. I've been eyeballing it. But I don't want to spend another $500 on something. I think what I'm going to try to do is peel off all of the old leather wrap around the steering wheel and try to sew on a completely new one. If that fails, I'll probably buy the DAMD. I like that you turned me on to Desario. Thank you. Hey, anytime, dude. I try to share. I try to find like chill music that like I personally would listen to whenever I put them in the videos. There's a lot of music that I've clicked on like, this doesn't fit like any of the stuff I do. Also appreciate the dono, my friend. My buddy told me I can upgrade to an FP Blue and injectors on my FA20 WX right away. Don't listen to your friend. Don't listen to your friend at all. All I have is an AOS catback. If your friend told you that you can swap your injectors on your FA20 WRX, you smack him. You straight smack him. You have direct injection injectors. You don't need to swap any type of injectors. There are no injectors to swap. Those are tunable injectors. They're scalable injectors. Don't listen to your buddy. I'm not saying don't listen to him, but your buddy doesn't know what he's talking about if he's telling you to swap injectors on your FA20. I like the Legacy GT. That's what I'm saying. We all like Mittens. Mittens needs a lot of love. Nope. Nah, we get State Ref too. See, I'm not about that. Any plans with the white Legacy GT on the side of the garage? Like I said, it's Matt's car. At some point in the future, we'll get it fixed and running. But it all boils down to money. It's just building. It costs a lot of money to build these cars, you guys. So at some point, it needs a new engine, needs heads. At one point, hopefully this year, we will get the Legacy GT up and running again. And depending on the person you get, mood will be determined how likely your car will pass or not. Not a fan. 10 out of 10, not a fan of that. Thanks for the tips. I love your channel, by the way. My dream car is a black 05 STI with gold BBS wheels. That's how I found your channel. Hey, appreciate it, dude. It was one of my dream. Oh, it still is one of my dream cars also. That's why I decided to snag that one. Looking forward to actually getting that car back out on the road. There are heaps of modifications I want to do to that car, which kind of, I should probably toss this out there. With the EG33 build coming up, we are going to be doing a little bit of bouncing back and forth between the 2017 STI and the 05 STI, because there are a lot of modifications that I want to do to the 05 STI. Like I said, it is one of my dream cars, and there are a handful of modifications that I still want to do to the suspension, the chassis, the exterior, the interior, which will probably come throughout this year as well. Mazda, get you an FD3S. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, Nissan and Mazda. We'll see what happens. I got a question. Have you ever peed and it started to burn, or is that just me? Aaron, I'm going to be straight up honest with you, my friend. Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. If he needs to check out your package, he'll check it out, I promise. I won't, but he will. My boyfriend loves watching your videos online. He spends his time alone just watching you, and I can't even bother him. Well, I do appreciate the support from him, and you if you watch it as well. I know COVID is a thing, but I live about 15 minutes from PRE and would love to come hang out during EG33 tuning day. I would have to clear that with PRE before I can say yes or no to any of that. It's their property. They're going to determine how many people can or cannot be there. Also depends on the status of COVID. We're probably looking at getting that STI to the dyno probably in the fall of this year. So that's going to be entirely up to PRE if they would allow something like that. But if they do allow something like that, I'd totally be down to hold like a small meet there while the car's getting tuned. I got an access port Cobb stage 1 tune. Have had 2 knocks. One was negative 1.4 and the other one was negative 0.7. Does this mean anything? Nope. Totally normal parameters. You're going to have that from time to time. You'll probably see up to negative 2.80 on a regular basis. It's just a normal parameter that happens. Boop. What kind of wheels are the 05 STI getting? You said rims, but I'm going to convert that over to wheels. At some point, that car will get the set of dream wheels I want, which are a set of Advans. Not going to tell you which ones, because when the day comes, I'm going to surprise all you. I'm going to surprise you all. But they are a set of Advans at some point in the future. 19. Ben, my man, what's going on, dude? Ben always in here mixing things up. I love it. 1977 Chrysler Newport Custom with Chrysler 400 Ci V8 engine and 3-speed automatic transmission. I've basically given up to throwing the towel on turbocharging and turbos in general. Not for me anymore. I feel it. I totally feel it, my man. And that's the car I'm wanting to get as a 1977 Chrysler Newport Custom. We'll follow up if you get it, my friend. No tune at all. Yeah, I'm like blowing through comments tonight. I'm moving through this stuff. I gotta scroll back up to Nate. Nate, where was your prior thing? Oh my god, I should try the plugs because I only put 5k miles on the new block. That's not a bad idea. Check plugs. Plugs are never a bad idea. Blue Baru for the win. That's what I'm saying. I love the blue. I love the blue on the Blue Baru. Blue Baru has my heart. Blue Baru's got my heart. Trying to get just a catback exhaust for my STI. I'm looking for the most audible rumble. Would you say Tomei? I'm going to say NVIDIA N1. The NVIDIA N1 has always given me the most rumble with any unequal length header setup. Single exit NVIDIA N1. Woo! No more ticking! That's what I'm saying! No more ticking. No more turbos or superchargers. Come on, Ben. What about superchargers? Superchargers are a lot more easier. They're a lot easier. For me, or 5-speed manual transmissions only. Dude, come on! Superchargers! Master Chief. Hello. Hello, Master Chief. So Boomba, short throw shifter on 2015 Bless WX. What about an 06 WX? Cart Boy. I have an EJ207 V7, and I want to know about size cams. About what size cams I should run for a fun street car. Thinking between the 264 and the 272 Kelford cams. Also, I would just need a valve spring and retainers to support. As for what you need to support, that's going to be up to Kelford if you do decide to get Kelford cams. They vary. Like I know with my Brian Crower cams, those ones can be used with an OEM valve train, but they do suggest swapping it out. As for what you should get, like 264 versus 272, that is a question for your tuner, depending on how much power you want to make and how they want to tune the car. Personally, I would suggest the 272. It's a little bit more aggressive than the 264, and it'll give a good little baby lope for a fun street car. I asked you on the compression test video, but you never answered me. What's the deal with those tinted taillights on the blob eye? I probably didn't even see that comment, to be honest. What's the deal with those tinted taillights on the blob eye? They came with it. They came with that on the car. I didn't do it. I didn't put them on there. They came with it on the car. I like them. They're staying. I don't know what percentage tint, unfortunately, but I'm guessing that they're like premium auto styling or something like that. Also, Marcus, appreciate the dono, man. What mods are a must prior to putting a new turbo on the FA20? I want more power, but I've heard TGR, EGR, J-pipe are minimal gains for the price, and I don't want to go flex fuel. Minimum modifications, I would say, before you swap the turbo on your FA20 WRX are an intercooler, whether that's a different top mount or front mount. If you do decide to get a top mount, get a better charge pipe as well. You're also going to need a boost controller. I would suggest a J-pipe. I would suggest a catback. You're going to need a low-pressure fuel pump. That's going to be the one that sits inside of the fuel tank, like an AEM 340-liter would be sufficient for that. What else we got? EGR, I would definitely suggest that. TGV, I would suggest that. Air oil separator, I would definitely suggest that. If you don't want to run an E85, you can definitely stay on pump gas for that as well. But that should be really the basic modifications, aside from an access port, because that one is given. Well, it's not given, but you know what I mean. It's a given modification that would have to be thrown in there. But that's kind of what I would say is the bare minimum that you would need to be able to swap the turbo out on that thing. And maybe a turbo inlet if you want to. It doesn't hurt either. Headers. Actually, headers. Throw headers in there too. I wouldn't mind swapping those ones. Eric told me I need a downpipe ID 1050s and AEM pump to make 400 wheel horsepower. So my question is, what brand downpipe do you recommend, and do you prefer divorced or bellmouth? So if you are going to be external wastegate, I highly suggest bellmouth. If you're going to be internal wastegate, I suggest divorced, just because it helps smooth the airflow out just a little bit more. 1050s are going to be required, and an AEM pump are both going to be required. As for the downpipes, I would suggest Cobb for bellmouth and Grimspeed for divorced. I have an 06 Legacy GT with automatic CVT for the manual swap. Yes or no? And what transmission for 350, 400? So you have a 06 Legacy GT with automatic. It's a CVT. That sounds like Matt's situation. You would need the 5-speed that comes in those models, so you would have to find that specific 5-speed to swap into it. Matt and I have been looking into this for months to try to be able to do a 6-speed swap in his Outback, which has a very similar setup to the Legacy. Honestly, I would just buy a parts car. I would just buy a parts car that's already a manual. Just take all the parts out of it, swap it over. As for making the transmission hold 350 to 400 wheel horsepower, at minimum, more blast plates. PPG gear set, if you don't mind tossing the extra money in there, should get you there no problem and be a reliable setup. Charlie, dude, see the intake track on IG. Good job. See, it came out better than I thought it would. That thing came out a lot better than I thought it would. I'm looking to upgrade my 08 WRX brakes to STI brakes, Brimbos. What year calipers and rotors do I need, and what all? Honestly, if you're going to be doing it, just go to ctsvbrakeswap.com. They make just packaged kits that are going to be a lot cheaper than buying OEM STI Brimbos, and they're the exact same brake caliper. Check it out, ctsvbrakeswap.com. They have all the kits, everything you need to be able to swap Brimbos on those cars. I've always wanted a 4th gen Legacy. Such a good looking car. Had its 2nd gen BD years ago and loved that thing. That's what I'm saying. We love the Legacy. The Legacy just needs some attention. Needs some love. Needs a little bit of love. I want you to go look up a 1977 Chrysler Newport. Ben, you want me to look it up? I will look it up just for you, Ben. 1977 Chrysler Newport. Just for you, Ben. Why do you want that? I don't. You know, Ben, I'm not going to lie. You've suggested some cool cars in the past, my man, but this one, I can't get behind this one. No, I can't do it. Can't get behind this one. You've suggested some cool cars in the past, but this, not one. This is not one of them. No, not a fan of that one. Not a fan of this Chrysler Newport. Fun, quick daily driver for the 16 WRX. I have a list of what I want to do eventually, but I don't want to have to go for a tune more than once. Like I said, stockpile your parts all at once. Go get a tune all at once, and then you're solid. Or you can just do e-tunes. E-tunes are nice too. Can I get a free car? Can I have a free car? Can I have one? Are you giving out free cars? I'll take a free car. I don't care what it is. I'll take a free car. I'll do something with it. Advans are dope. That's what I'm saying. I love Advans. I have silver Advan, one of my WRX 06. Yes. Am I going to wrap the 05? Nope. I absolutely love the obsidian black color on that car. I would not want to wrap over that paint. It looks absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Where did I just go? If I had the chance to get a diesel Subaru, would I? Probably not. I don't have any use for it. I mean, maybe if it was given to me for free, maybe. I wouldn't buy one though. I have a set of dual AVCS BC 272 and BC springs and retainers if anyone wants them. Are you just giving them out? Free? Are they free? You can just giving them out. I'll take them. We'll put them in Matt's car. I'm joking. Don't do that. I heard with Subarus, you may have to replace the buckets when doing heads cams. Do I just buy buckets based off of what's not good? If you're going to be going in there and you're going to be swapping in new cams, I would do all new buckets anyways. The best way to do it is start with the smallest size bucket. Take all of your measurements with that smallest size bucket and then order all your buckets based off of that. You're probably going to have to order 1 or 2 anyways, but buckets get expensive. They're $20 a bucket. What is it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 16. You have 32 buckets? Is that right? I think you got 32 buckets in that car. 32 times 20? That can't be right. You got a lot of buckets. They're $20 each. I'm gonna lay my woes at your feet and pray. I've got a Blob WRX with a JDM EJ205 AVS swap and Pro tuned, but I'm getting negative 2.11 or 2.11 on a regular basis and 4.22 on hard drives. Any ideas? Could be bad gas, could be a bad spark plug, could be a spark plug that's not gapped correctly, could be a coil pack, could be a lot of things. But honestly, those numbers aren't that high. It could also be ghost knock. You could just have a bolt sitting on top of the block near the knock sensor, and it could be picking up that as it's rumbling around. I would check for loose bolts. Hey, what up? What up, Jay Ronaldo? What's going on, man? Can EJ stock turbo handle 350 wheel horsepower? Recommend upgrading turbo. I would highly recommend upgrading the turbo. Also, my local tuning shop has told me the cylinder 4 is on its way out, EJ205 with AVCS or EJ207 on a WRX Trans. I would do the EJ207. Personal preference, I would do the EJ207. My 2017 STI battery tested bad, but it hold the charge, so it seems like I will need. So it seems that I will need a new. Any ideas? Personally, I like the Odyssey PC Extreme. Melee battery, also a very good one. That's what I use in the 2017 STI is a Melee battery with a, however you pronounce. Brawley, that battery. I use that setup in the 17 STI. That car's been sitting for a while, and every time I go out there to like check something electrically, everything still works great. Haven't had anything bad with it. It's been an awesome battery. Glad the coil pack was the ticking issue. Same. I'm doing an IAG 600 2.5i long block on my 2002 WRX. She will match her sister, my 2005 STI fully built. Hey, good to hear. Oreo, I am out of work currently. I am sorry to hear that, my friend. Due to being in contact with someone that had COVID. But once I get tested, And then I wait the allotted time for being tested. Should I try to get the RX-7 tuned for a bit? I mean, why not? More power and increase with the boost with the rebuilt T78, so long as I test negative. I would go for it. I would 100% go for it at that point, dude. All right. Ben, I know what the 2009 Cadillac XLR is. I know what those ones are. I've seen a couple of them around here. Those are actually pretty cool cars. I like the XLRs. Thanks for all the great info, dude. You seem super knowledgeable about this platform. Just got a 2011 WRX, and I'm in love with them now. Hey, congrats on the car, my friend. Congrats on the car. Where did I get my Odyssey battery? I think Amazon. I think Amazon's where I ordered that thing. Why'd you choose to get a smaller battery for the 05 STI? I personally like smaller batteries. They have a smaller footprint while still being just as reliable as a lot of the full-size batteries out there. And they look good. They look good in my opinion. Is it worth getting the Super Speed headlight over the 2019 STI headlights? Personally, no. I'd probably keep the 2019 STI headlights. They're also motorized, so they move. The Super Speed ones are very, very hit or miss. Very hit or miss. But I'm getting hungry, and I've been working in the garage all day, and my shirt button thingy just came unbuttoned. So I am going to be hopping off of the stream, you guys. I feel bad because I only did one stream this week. So we will do another stream on Sunday for everyone. We'll do it earlier in the day too. We'll mix it up. We'll do it at noon, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, just to get another live stream out to you guys. So I think I did a pretty good job at keeping up with questions tonight. But anyways, I appreciate all the donos. I appreciate all of you swinging down through the stream. If I skipped your question on accident, or if I did not get to you guys' question, feel free to swing over into the next live stream on Sunday. But with that, also, Phil, appreciate the last minute dono, my friend. Appreciate the last minute dono, you guys. But with that, I'll catch you guys on Sunday in the next one.